A group of astronauts lands on an asteroid where they find a strange bleeding rock. Suddenly, an earthquake hits them and they quickly escape. Later on, as they enter Earth's atmosphere, the samples release a black liquid that engulfs the astronauts, and things quickly go south. Peter Parker calls Aunt May to steer clear from the area, while Kingpin calls Rhino to steal the samples from the shuttle. Eddie Brock tries to reach the shuttle to get the scoop and get his job back. The news team decides to fly over while Spider-Man sneaks off to swing his way there. The astronauts try to push onto the river, and Rhino is flipping cars on the bridge as people abandon their vehicles. Finally, the shuttle crashes into the bridge, and when Spider-Man arrives, he finds that the shuttle door has been ripped off. Rhino steals the samples and beats up Spider-Man, but Spidey plants a tracker on his leg to find him later. Spider-Man then saves the crew, but the shuttle rolls into the water and Brock frames Spider-Man for the attack in order to get his job back. Meanwhile, Spidey swims to shore with Venom stuck on his outfit, but he thinks that it's sewage. To make matters worse, he loses the tracker. Rhino hands Kingpin the sample, which his scientists claim is extremely powerful. Meanwhile, on the news, they announce that Spider-Man had stolen the samples, and Peter is shocked to hear that he's being framed. Jonah places a $1 million trophy for anyone who can catch and deliver Spider-Man. Later that night, Peter is brooding because of what happened, and he chucks away his suit before going to sleep. In the night, the Black Goo sneaks out and takes over Spidey's dreams. They have a cartoonish fight between Spider-Man and Venom, and after it's over, Spider-Man wakes up in a black suit. Immediately, he is chased by a chopper as they try to collect the bounty on his head. Spidey is way faster and more powerful, though. People begin attacking him and he defends himself. He is significantly stronger, able to lift an entire car as well as transform his suit to personate a cop, and he decides to keep the suit. Later on, he's impressed by the suit's ability to shapeshift, and Felicia appears to hit on him. He starts hitting on her before her boyfriend Flash intervenes. Peter stands up to him as he appears to be more cocky than ever. Felicia is scared of this new version of Peter and scrams.
Bye, Felicia.
Meanwhile, Kingpin's scientists need special equipment to analyze the sample, but they're stored away in a government facility. So, Kingpin calls Rhino once again to steal them for him. Later on, Aunt May warns Peter of the pictures he takes of Spider-Man and says that it's too dangerous. Peter gets angry when he hears this and storms off into his room, where he finds that his tracker has picked up Rhino. Rhino breaks into a government facility, but Spider-Man quickly arrives and they fight. Spidey is more aggressive now and more powerful. He whoops Rhino and tortures him for a bit to reveal the location of Kingpin and his scientist. When Rhino refuses to cooperate, Spidey is about to kill him, but his actions serve as a wake-up call to what he's turning into. He leaves the scene and notices a sinister reflection from the suit. The next day, Spidey is swinging around with people chasing him for the $1 million reward, but he's unstoppable with this new suit. It's only when they launch a sonic blast toward him that the suit starts giving out and deteriorates. Autopilot kicks in and the suit saves Spidey out of this situation. He takes out his attackers before going to confront Jonah and Brock, claiming his innocence from the situation with the samples. Security arrives, and Spider-Man quickly leaves before he does something stupid, realizing that he's quickly losing control. At Kingpin's place, they're displaying the samples that they stole, and discover that it is the most powerful fission material in history, with a giant blast to prove it. Spidey goes to Dr. Connor seeking help with the suit. The doctor is reluctant, but together, they cut a piece of the suit to analyze it. After looking at it, they discover that it's alive and bonding with other organisms. Not only that, it also improves the host until eventually it takes over. Still, Spider-Man refuses to take it off and he leaves. Later on, the astronaut wakes up and tells Jonah what really happened in the shuttle and that Rhino stole the sample. So Jonah fires Brock and kicks him out of the newspaper. Jonah withdraws his reward on live TV, and Kingpin decides that they must take out Brock because he is a potential witness. Meanwhile, Brock is out here hating professionally on Spider-Man. He blames him for every single bad thing that has ever happened to him. Spider-Man is searching his apartment until he finds the tape of the footage he took, but he hears Brock getting threatened by Kingpin's goon, the Shocker. Spidey quickly intervenes and starts fighting Shocker, but he gets buried in the rubble. He blasts out and follows him back to Kingpin's lair, where he crashes the party. He captures the scientist and steals the sample before escaping. Later on, he's taking a closer look at the sample and makes a mysterious discovery. Meanwhile, Kingpin demands that they retrieve the sample. The astronaut is kidnapped, and Jonah is blackmailed to issue a call-out to Spider-Man on live TV. Jonah meets Spidey, and they go someplace suspicious while being tailed by Brock. They easily exchange the sample for the astronaut and leave, but not before they are double-crossed. Brock is happy that this is happening, but Spidey drops Shocker before a distraction is made by Brock, which causes Spidey to get knocked down. Shocker tries to get Brock, but Spidey is now enraged and goes after him in a much more aggressive state, vowing to kill him. He follows him up the building and Brock joins them, which makes Spidey grab him and hang him off the bell. Feeling his Spidey senses tingling, Spider-Man dodges an attack and ends Shocker, dangling him off the roof before losing control of Venom, and it throws him off the roof. Suddenly, Spider-Man realizes what he's becoming and wakes up, trying to rip the suit off. The sounds of the bell are what hurts Venom and causes Venom to get off, leaving Spidey in his undie. Spider-Man fights off the symbiote before jumping off, thinking that this Venom threat is done for. Meanwhile, Kingpin is displaying the sample to the buyers, but they discover that it has become useless, which is exactly what Spider-Man figured out before and why he let it go easily. Its half-life is only days. Meanwhile, Brock is still dangling, and Venom slowly drips all over him, and now he has his eyes set on the same mutual target. Later on, Brock is lifting weights, now stronger than ever. He's still hating on Spider-Man, and now he has fully accepted the symbiote, which has full control over him. Meanwhile, Spidey is feeling better swinging around the city, but he runs into Rhino. They fight and Spidey quickly makes a joke out of him, but he's jumped by Shocker and mayhem ensues as they both team up against him. Venom intervenes to get Spider-Man himself. As Spidey gets up, Brock confronts him, knowing his real identity from Venom. He introduces the symbiote and attacks Spider-Man before putting him in a headlock. He explains that they have fully bonded and chucks him away, but Spidey does a quick 619. He warns Brock about the symbiote, but he says that they were made for each other. He explains that Venom is an ancient organism that has seen civilizations rise and collapse since the beginning of time with the sole objective of survival. He pretends to leave, but only to circle from behind Spidey and get the drop on him. But Spider-Man counters him and realizes that Venom is immune to his Spidey sense. Venom restrains him and stresses that he calls him Venom and not Brock. He finally threatens Spider-Man before leaving. Spidey gets out of his restraints and tries to find him, so he goes to his apartment and figures out that he'll probably be at the gym. Peter is now imagining things as Venom's mind games are working. He gets some info on Brock from the newspaper while Jonah brings in the astronaut. Peter sneaks out, unable to detect Venom, and changes into his suit. Brock comes out of nowhere, threatening to reveal his identity. Spider-Man follows after him and they fight on a rooftop before Spidey delivers a flying kick.
Sunday is being battered as well!
Venom escapes, but once again drops him from behind. He captures him again and takes off his mask. Jonah immediately tries to identify him using a camera from afar. Eventually, Spidey escapes and covers his face before he's blown and goes to meet MJ. When he arrives, Brock is there waiting for him. Peter quickly takes her away and leaves, but he's seeing things again. Brock follows after them to make Peter even more paranoid. Peter then goes home and Brock follows him there. Peter takes him outside, but he turns and continues to mentally torture him, leaving Spider-Man hell-bent on evening the playing field. Brock goes home and finds mind games courtesy of Spider-Man, who mocks Brock and runs away, and now he follows. Venom breaks the floor from under Spider-Man and sends him crashing down, and he somehow falls into the subway. Spidey gets on the metro, and Venom quickly follows him.
Metro!
Venom flanks him, but Spider-Man outmaneuvers him and knocks him off. Brock then takes a truck and goes after the train. He gets back on the metro and they get to a military base launch pad where they will launch a new rocket. They chase each other around the missile, and Spidey webs his face, which makes Venom mad. Suddenly, the rocket begins to take off, and the sound drives the symbiote crazy. It comes off Brock, and Spider-Man is able to catch and attach it to the rocket. He finally grabs Brock and gets out of there. Brock is arrested while Spidey escapes without a scratch. Later on, Peter is still haunted by Venom, who is out there somewhere in space. These were 3 episodes from the 1994 Spider-Man animated series featuring Venom as the main villain. It is interesting to note that this depiction of Venom is completely different from the modern-day live-action movie, where Venom is an anti-hero and leans more towards being good, whereas here, he is completely evil. Spider-Man will always have a special place in every boy's heart as we all grew up on the iconic hero, and seeing him with Venom is just so much better. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me what you think about this story. Did you like seeing Spider-Man bond with the symbiote, or did you prefer to see Venom on his own raising mayhem? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.